What is up, my Lorcana Goons? Welcome back to the Lorcana Goons channel. My name is Kevin, and you are watching the weekly Monday Market Watch. We do these every Monday and Friday, and we talk about Lorcana news, card prices, and meta trends. So if you like this content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you are a Lorcana Goon, because it does support the channel. But my Goons, what's up? I am back in beautiful Los Angeles, California. I am back from vacation, or Easter Sunday and whatnot. So I hope you guys had an awesome Easter weekend with your families and whatnot. Wherever you are, I hope you got to celebrate, or even just buy some Lorcana packs or something, because man, these prices are booming. But yeah, let's get on into this. I'm so glad to be back. I'm so grateful to be in the space where there's Lorcana now. You have no idea. But anyways, check out these first chapter booster boxes going up in price. As we've been talking about for the last couple market watches, a lot of the first chapter stuff is just surging in price again as of recently, and that includes the booster boxes. And if you were trying to get one of these booster boxes for your collection at near MSRP, those days are looking like they're long gone. I know a lot of people are still wondering if we're ever going to get reprints like this, and quite frankly, I haven't seen an LGS carry a sealed first chapter booster box in what seems to be a cool minute, and I don't think we're going to be seeing them anytime soon again. We might get some booster packs here and then, like loose packs at, let's say, in Walmart with open boxes, or even Disneyland or something, but a first chapter sealed booster box I think might be out of reach for most of us nowadays, because this is it's getting near those prices when Lorcana first came out, almost double the MSRP price. But right now, and they have no problem selling at this price. A couple sales today already happening on April 1st, April Fool's Day, for $269.99, $290, $284, $284 right here. So it's looking like they're getting close to that $300 mark again. Lowest verified today for a sealed booster box is going to be by LBKP Cards. They have 100. Oh my goodness, wow, they have 100 of them ready for you to go. So this is probably going to be the lowest listing, or at least this is going to be one of the lowest verified listing sellers for a cool minute, if they have 100 of them ready for you to go. So if you do want to pay $300, which is basically double MSRP, you can find it right now by that seller. And there are a couple of non-verified sellers who have it for a little bit less, I guess, but you're still paying close to 300. Kamehameha Cards, that's really cool. They have it for $275 with $10 shipping, so what, like $285, you know what I mean? And a couple other sellers have like that too. There's some damaged versions too on TCG Player. Ooh, that does not look nice though. I would not want that for my sealed collection personally. But if you're just trying to like open these booster packs because you're getting into the game or something, I feel like buying singles for the first chapter is a lot better than buying the booster box to try and open. And also take into consideration that we now have a somewhat semi-confirmation about having banned cards in the future. It was kind of mentioned in the new Lorcana rules that banned cards are gonna be a possibility in the future. It felt more like it was future proofing, but still, why would they mention it if they didn't have it in mind? You know what I mean? And I know of plenty of cards in the first chapter that people consistently talk about that they should be either be banned from tournament play or put on some type of like limited to one list or something. But let's take a look at some of the enchanted rares that you pull from the first chapter, because they're surging in price. As of right now, Bell Strange but Special has been selling for more than $300, and we even have a confirmed sale for $479, which is kind of crazy. This is a big difference in two different sales happening from day to day, $350 to $475. That's a huge difference. And there's a lot of listings for this card. There's 17 listings available right now. So that was pretty shocking to see. I did see that listing earlier, and I wasn't sure what to think of it, but now that I see a confirmed sale, I'm starting to get kind of excited about Bell Strange but Special. This is the potential right here. I think that's a big difference, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see a listing sell for a little bit less after that. But the potential for this card to be almost $500 is definitely there. I get the feeling that Elsa is slowly becoming out of reach for a lot of people and collectors, and I mean, the second best might be something like Bell Strange but Special. It might be something like Cinderella Ballroom Sensation, or even some of the other first chapter Enchanted rare cards that we're going to get into today. But if you want a Bell Strange but Special right now, lowest verified is going to be by Scrub Tier Gaming. They have you for $479 as well, shipping included with 99 cents, so about $480 is what you're expected to pay online for this card. But I do want to say that TCG Player is obviously not the only place you can find it, especially if you're not in the western side of the world, or at least in the North Americas. Then you're probably using something like Card Market. OfferUp is a huge help sometimes. Stuff like Facebook Marketplace, stuff like eBay as well. There's a lot of eBay auctions going on for a lot of these cards, and you might find them for a cheaper price. But still pretty interesting to see all the first chapters just surging in price. Not all the first chapter enchanters, but the princesses for sure over the weekend weekend. This weekend again, they're just keep jumping and jumping. Plenty of sales happening for that $300+ range for Bell Strange but Special over the weekend since the 29th. $379, $350, 353. Let's see, this one has a, but yeah, into a sleeve, $377. So yeah, plenty of sales, like I said. And then yeah, potential for this to be a $500 Enchanted rare, I think, is there. How long will it take till it gets there? Who knows? But I definitely feel like this one is worth holding on to, because in general, most of the Lorcana Enchanted cards are worth holding on to for a while. And by the way, I also want to mention a very important piece of advice that I was given once by a friend who does a lot of finance stuff outside of just TCGs. Usually when I'm buying cards, my favorite thing to do is, like, if I'm going to buy a card like this, I'm going to buy it with the knowing already what I'm going to sell it at, either if I'm going to sell it at all or not. You know what I mean? So like if I'm buying a card for the purpose to sell it in the future, then I'm going to stick to that forever. And I definitely don't stare at the price daily, because I think that's not good for like my mental health or whatever. So let's say Bell Strange was Special. If I were to buy this right now, I'd tell myself, you know what, I'm not going to get rid of this card until it hits at least 4 digits. And no matter what happens in the market, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait a year, 2 years, 3 years, and then once it hits that 4 digits, then I'll consider selling it if I truly need to. But that's kind of how I look at things when it comes to that kind of scenario. I kind of pick when I'm already gonna get rid of the card before I actually buy it, and I stick to that. I make sure to not break that rule, and I think that's a very important advice from a friend that I've had before, which is kind of cool, and a friend that I hope to bring on the Lorcana Market Watch very, very soon. And I feel like most of these Enchanted rares, I wouldn't just try and make a quick buck on them. I don't think that quick flipping TCGs or even like Lorcana, for example, is really I don't know. It's in my experience, it's just kind of difficult to do that unless you have the ability to buy in from like through a brick and mortar and buy them at like 70% or something. That's a big different story. But as of right now, a lot of these cards, like collector wise or investment wise, because a lot of people love to use those words and say this is like a finance channel, you know. And quite personally, I understand where you guys are coming from. I just prefer to more look at it as like, we do a lot of stuff, and this is like my opinion on the card pricing. And overall though, most of these cards are just long-term holds, in my opinion. Like I would just, if I'm gonna buy it, or like I said, I have one of these cards, so when I have one of the Bell Enchanted Strains of Special, and at first I told myself, well, I'm not gonna consider getting rid of it until I at least make my money back from that booster box that I pulled it in, because I bought it from the very first like month that Lorcana came out, so I paid like $350 for the booster box. And as of today, you know, like 6-7 months later, I can actually do that now. But is it worth it to me? No, I'm just gonna keep holding it. I feel like a lot of these Enchanted rares are just definite long-term holds. I would love to hold them for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and constantly see where they go, because I get the feeling they're always gonna have a decent value, and in a year's time this card's gonna be either more expensive or still relatively close to this price, if not more. Then in 2, 3, 4, 5 years, same thing. I think the longer time goes, the cooler the first chapter, especially Enchanted rares, become for a collector's value, and I like that. Aurora from the first chapter also shooting up in price still, which is really interesting to see. We have some confirmed sales on the 30th and the 29th for $308, $350. We have another one here. This was a $300 and then another $279.99. So this $350 one seems a little expensive, you know what I mean? But again, none of these aren't including shipping, so for all I know, these could have been also $350. Oh, this is a light plate for this $279, by the way. So for a near mint, I think the asking price is going to be at least a little bit more than $300, maybe $320. But as of today, if you want an Aurora Dream Guardian buying online, you're gonna have to pay $400. Sui Generis has you for $399.99 with shipping included. After that though, Sifu Ryukin is gonna be listed at $450. So a $50 price jump from the first verified listing that we have here all the way to the next one, which is only a couple sellers after. These two non-verified sellers, they have it right there. And me personally, like I would probably, like, not for this price, but in general, like I don't mind trusting an unverified sellers. In my experience, I've been doing it a lot more lately because of Lorcana, because there's a lot more unverified sellers, and you know, some of these new sellers definitely got some respect for like the cards they're shipping out, so you know, why not? But yeah, this card's been jumping up in price, as you can tell. As we've always talked about, the princesses tend to but jump in price eventually. I feel like the princess tax is very real in Lorcana, and it shows with some of these Enchanted rares. Tinkerbell Giant Fairy is another one that we were talking about. Now almost $400, at least for the listing price. No Limit Gaming lowest verified $392.67, but as we all know, listing price does not mean the actual market price or value. But if we look at the most recent sales, a light blade sold for $300+ yesterday, $313. So if people are able to sell their light blade versions of this card for $300 now, I get the feeling the near mints are definitely going to be worth a little bit more than that. I would say even closer to $350, $400 almost. But I love this card personally. One of my favorite Lorcana cards. I know a lot of people share that same sentiment. We have a near mint foil that's sold for $215. That seems kind of wild. I don't know if that that's a come up if you actually got it for that price, bro. Another one $225 right here is one to 30th, and then another on the 30th for $399. These prices just fluctuate so much. That's another thing, a lot of times like card games are just very, very volatile. So I definitely like to recommend also to like buyers and sellers remorse is going to be very real in this game, especially if you have some of these cards and you're getting rid of them, because that then the market is so volatile that when you get rid of a card, the next day the price is going to be different, the next 2 weeks the price is going to be different, and it does definitely happen. So that's why I definitely don't like staring at the card prices. And look at me, I do these freaking market watches every Monday and Friday, but between those time frames I do not look at the card prices of cards that I collect and own, because I don't like staring at it. I feel like it's not the healthiest thing, at least for me personally. So I do like to do these market watches with a little bit more of like an honest eye without looking at them, and I'm kind of reacting to it at the same time. But yeah, anyways, Tinkerbell Giant Fairy, great card, almost a $400 card now, selling for closer to $350, and I think that's definitely warranted. Some of these Enchanted first chapter cards are getting out of reach for a lot of people, especially me personally. I don't think I ever wanted play sets, but I don't think I'm going to pay $300 or $400 for an Aurora Dream Guardian anymore. So I'm looking at cards like Maui Hero to All now, which is like one of my favorite cards in the actual set for like all of Lorcana in the first chapter. Not the Enchanted, but just the regular version of Maui is so powerful this format, and I think that this card is going to be able to like hold a lot of nostalgia, tell a lot of stories, in the future of Lorcana. So the fact that it's still a little bit less than $200 is really nice to see. A couple of non-verified sellers have it for $163, $166, and $170. They were selling for closer to $150 though, and they have been going back up past that $150 range since the 29th. All the ones that were around $150 have completely sold out, and now you're paying $168, $165, $170 up here in the most recent comp today on April 1st. So not an April Fool's joke. Maui also climbing the ranks of the Lorcana pricing. Yeah, first chapter Enchanted Rare is going up in price, especially the ones that are popularized like Maui Hero to All, and I think these are some cards to look out for personally, especially if you have them, and I think you should always get your value in on them. So keep updated, man. Make sure you're checking the TCG player when you're doing trades or when you're looking at these cards, because it feels like cryptocurrency. Like these things just move up and down every day. Like I said, very volatile. And then, like I said, if you can't get the Elsa anymore, maybe you consider getting Cinderella Ballroom Sensation, now the most expensive Enchanted Rare from Rise of the Floodborn. Though is verified for a near mint, is going to be listed at $543. There's only 6 listings for this card, and this card continues to amaze me. I feel like we're about to see this card go a little wild because there's only 6 listings left, and 2 of the listings right here are going to be light plate foils, and they're already at that $450 mark. And if we only look at the near mints, there's only 3 listings for near mint Cinderella Ballroom Sensation Enchanted Rares. Most recent sales are honestly solidifying its price as well. We have a sale today for $500 April 1st, another one for $543, yesterday $542 as well, the exact same thing. And then before that, they were consistently selling for $420, $416, $408, and this is all over the weekend. So a bunch of sales happening this weekend for Cinderella Ballroom Sensation in near that $400 plus price range, and it's already climbed up $100, getting very close to that $500 price range. And yeah, this card, another card I'm personally holding. I just love the princesses in Lorcana, and as we've seen from Into the Inklands and Rise of the Floodborn, the first chapter had the most princesses, and then Floodborn had less, and the Inklands I don't even think has any princesses, right? Like, am I tripping, or does Inklands not have any? I can't think of it off the top of my head right now, but I don't think there's any princesses in the Into the Inklands set. So there's going to be sets where you don't get the cool main Disney princesses, and I think that is very telling for the future of some of the value of some of these cards. But speaking of princesses, one of the ones I was talking about last time was Snow White Well-Wisher. When we looked at it last week, I believe the lowest verified is about $140 to $150. And I was looking at this card, and I was just I was a little too hesitant to pull the trigger, and I wish I would have pulled the trigger the moment I did that market watch, And if anything, I don't know why I didn't do it. I didn't try to save money and whatnot because I was obviously on vacation. But I just didn't buy it, and now I have a little bit of regrets because now they are shooting up to around $200 $200, no more in that $150 range. As you can see here, last week 151, 140, 152, that's what you were paying. But starting over the weekend, all those started selling out, and we started seeing sales in the $183 mark, 186, 198, $200, 192. Yeah, so this is now a $200 enchanted rare. It shot up like 50 bucks. Still one of the cheaper princesses available, and Snow White's like a classic, so I'm still surprised that this card is this cheap, considering there's only 5 listings and one of them is a light blade right there. So we have Spellslinger singles. They have you for $200 still. They're a non-verified seller, but I feel like that's a nice discount if you do want to go through a verified seller. Though Roaming Circus Games is the only verified seller for this card, and it's $217 with $4 shipping. So $200 plus enchanted rare Snow White. Now this card's going up. This is why I brought it up last time. I was just looking at it so long because I noticed the listings were super low on this card, and the fact that it was less than $200, it was just speaking to me. It was just speaking to me, and now it's past the $200. It's going to be past a $200 enchanted rare, I want to say, by next week, because there's just a lot of sales movement in these enchanted rares right now, my goons. But here she is, everybody's favorite. I know you've been waiting for this, Elsa, Spirit of Winter. Let's check out the Elsa Market Watch updates today. Lowest verified for a near mint is now going to be $1,500 basically. Vortex TCG near mint has you for $149.99. And there's a couple of light blades right here for $1,125, $1,200, $1,200. So the light blades are being listed at $1,200. Let's see what the recent sales movement is looking like. No sales today, but a couple sales yesterday, solidifying a $1,300 price point right here. $1,350, $1,349, and then on Saturday another one sold for $1,349, and on Friday another one sold for $1,349. So all the ones listed for $1,349 on the dot sold. You know, that's a very specific price, but they're all gone. And then you can kind of notice that there's not that many listings available for a near mint Elsa anymore. But this is where it gets interesting. Is looking through TCG Player, obviously you can see there's confirmed sales for $1,300. But if we go through eBay, you can see a little bit more, more sales activity that doesn't necessarily, I'm not gonna say justify, because you know it's fine. $1,300 isn't a bad price or anything, but there's different prices on other platforms. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. So on eBay, you're gonna see a little bit of a different story. Some of the raws are selling for less than $1,300 for sure. More than $1,000, you know, which is still pretty awesome to see. But you'll be able to find an Elsa for not $1,300 on eBay. Most recent comp, though, as of today, is going to be best offer accepted right here on April 1st for $1,200 and $1,250. But we do have another best offer accepted here for $1,100. That was also today. So you can see a bigger like variance on eBay, for example. By the way, I am on 130point.com. This is a way to check confirmed sales listings that were on eBay that get best offer accepted, or even auctions, for example. It's like a great tool to kind of manage some card history, so that's kind of nice to see. But yeah, we have a raw that sold for $1,100, another raw that sold for $1,250. So not necessarily that $1,350 price point that you're seeing on TCG Player. Even the most recent is at least $100 less, and another one today being $250 less basically. And you continue to see that trend. This one sold on bids, which is kind of crazy. Actually, 9 bids. That was yesterday. That was $1,300, but like I said, that was yesterday. Another one sold yesterday for $1,100. So you can see how much it bounces around. Here's another one, a raw best offer accepted, sold for $1,000 on the dot. And some of these probably include shipping, whether it be like $50 shipping, $100 shipping. I don't think this one's going to include $300 shipping, though. You know what I mean? But yeah, you can tell that that on TCG Player we do have those confirmed sales for $1,350. But I like checking every other platform because in my opinion, you know, you're able to kind of notice when some of the sales happen a little bit too quick. So I do like looking at eBay's auctions, like this one that's $1,380 as well, for more of a confirmed pricing, or even some of these best offers accepted, because these are usually done through private, where you can DM the eBay listing person, the eBay seller, and let them know you want to buy the card for this price. And some of them are down for it too, and you'll be able to get a decent discount instead of having to pay $1,300+ through either TCG Player or some of these really hyped auctions. As for the graded Elsa, we know you can grade your other cards, but I feel like grading the Elsa is like everybody's like favorite thing to do, like the bread and butter of Lorcana. Outside of like D23 promos, but and I should have said this last time. It slipped my my vocabulary, and I'd done so many takes in the last video. I didn't mean to say that Elsa was the most expensive card in Lorcana. I meant to say that in addition, aside from the D23 promo cards, the first chapter, the first edition D23 promo cards are still going to be more expensive than Elsa, but it's looking like only the Elsa from that set is going to be more expensive, because it's getting kind of crazy actually with this Elsa price. But yeah, anyways, a couple new confirmed sales on this PSA section area. PSA 10 Elsa sold for $2,850. That was yesterday, and that was in auctions. 35 bids in this auction, almost $3,000 for the PSA 10 Elsa. After that, we have another one that happened on the 30th right here. This was a best offer accepted for a raw Elsa. This was $1,199, so $1,200. So like I said, still less than that $1,300 price point. This PSA 10 also sold for $2,700. So it's getting very close to $3,000 for a PSA 10 Elsa. But you're probably able to find it for just a little bit less still. Around 2,700 is the most recent comp, even to actually 2,800 or something. But those are the most recent comps for this card, and I get the feeling that it's going to stay there for a cool minute. We will see what happens with some of these other listings that we have available here. Somebody has a couple auctions going on as well. Best offer accepted for this PSA 9 is now $1,500 listing. This PSA 10 is listed at $3,000, and a lot of the PSA 10s are just listed at $3,000 plus dollars. Now you're not really going to find it for that $2,000 range anymore, is what it's looking like. By the way, here's another raw Elsa that sold for $1,000 on the dot through bids on March 30th, which is literally 2 days ago. Around that same price over the weekend, Elsa was $1,300 like selling and listed, on TCG Player, but on eBay, some of these auction bids were going as high as $1,000 for the raw and capping there. You know what I mean? So this was a good price. If you bought this at this price, that's a come up. You know what I mean? Especially when people are clearly buying it on TCG Player for like $300 or more, which is kind of crazy to see. But like I said, you can check eBay's listings right here. There's plenty of auctions going on today for raw Elsas, for graded Elsas from around that $1,000 plus mark though. But we'll see where these auctions end. Some of these end in a couple days, some of these end in 1 day, so I'm really excited to see what these new prices are going to be by the time we look at the Monday market watch. So be sure to come back on Monday if you like this content, so you can look at the Monday market watch with us as well. But last but not least, there's some some other enchantments you might want to pick up before they start going up again, because at one point they were $100. We've seen them fall this low back in January. They shot back up to more than 100, and now they are back down. And I told myself that when these cards come back down, if they ever come back down to less than $100, I would highly consider getting them, and I probably will end up getting either the late Jermaine or the Namari. Personally, I also like Pete, the Big Pete in this set. I don't think it's a bad card at all, and it's less than $100. And these are some of the cheaper enchanted rares if you want to still start expanding your enchanted rare collection. The Rise of the Floodborn isn't super expensive right now, and as of today, lowest verified for the Lady Jermaine is going to be Oblivion Games Tampa for $89, and then Namari is going to be a whopping $77 by Nitro Mike Cards. And by the way, somebody did mention that I talk very fast, and I am very aware of that. And you know what I mean? I'm going to tell you what I told all my teachers growing up. I am not going to change for nobody but my mama. But anyways, enough of the Enchanted Rare talk. I took a lot of time talking about Enchanted today. I will gonna speed run some of these singles. Beast Tragic Hero selling for still more than $50. Sleeping Dragon Games has you for $54.11 for the lowest verified. I would still value your Beast at $50 plus, because this card is still incredibly powerful. This format, Poke Soda is gonna have you for $83.99 for the lowest verified. Cold Foil Beast price coming down a little bit, not necessarily $100 yet, and Untapped Games next verified has you for $92.14 after that. So Beast Tragic Hero, not yet a $100 cold foil, but still bouncing off those price ranges. Robin Hood is very interesting. I actually bought a cold foil not that long ago, because the cold foil price and the non-foil price are so close together. A lot of the cold foils are selling for basically $50, as you can see here. $53, $49.99, $45. Wow, $49.99, and that's going to be the lowest verified for the cold foil today by Pride Lands Gaming, $49 right there. And if we look at the non-foils, it's going to be Poke Soda again for $43, basically with $1.22 shipping, which is kind of crazy to see. Non-foils foils. After that, though, immediately jump back to $49. So the after these non-verified sellers get rid of it for what this is looking like $45 because it's 44 plus $1.22 shipping. You can see all the listings start to hit $50, $50, $50. So if most of the listings for the non-foil are already very, very close to $50, why would you just not buy the cold foils that are also listed for $50? You know what I mean? So that is very interesting to see. I'm just pointing that out there for anybody who's been looking on trying to hollow out their deck. That seems like a decent price point right now. Usually when the foil and the non-foil prices are that close together, they tend to diverge, and it's usually the non-foils that will go down as opposed to anything else. But sometimes even the cold foils just shoot up, and considering Robinhood being such a crucial part of the format of the Steel Engine this format, I get the feeling the cold foils are going to start kind of showing us the same trends that Beast Tragic Hero been showing us. Lowest verified for the Maleficent Monsters Dragon today is now $40 by Pride Lands Gaming as well. Wow, you guys got a lot of stuff, Pride Lands Gaming. Shout out you guys for having such low prices. Plenty of non-verified sellers though have you for less than $45, but after that, Keter Class Game is going to be $44.99 for the next lowest verified. Cold foil listings for this card are super low though. Only 8 listings available. Lowest non-verified is going to be $75 with $5 shipping. But the reason I say it that way first is because the lowest verified for a cold foil Monsters Dragon is now $150. That is crazy. I kind of want to see what happens when these two get bought. You know what I mean? So less than $100 if you want to go through a non-verified seller. But if you're gonna go through a verified seller on TCG Player, this card is now more than $100. None of them have sold for that price yet, but we'll see what happens from Monday to Friday and where this goes. Because look at this, 2 of them already sold today for $83, $81. Those are the cold foils right there, and I wouldn't be surprised if some of these other ones sell today because they look like relatively new listings. $75 with $5 shipping, or $89.99 by booster packs unverified. Kind of interesting to see. Bell Strains but special. This cold foil also seeing some love. It's no longer those at least for listing wise. So all the listings that were less than $50 have been sold for the cold foil. We had one today sell for $45.99. Over the weekend, some more sales for closer to $50. What it's looking like, and it's been going up a little bit in the cold foil section. If you want to get it from a non-verified seller, you can pay like $50 right here by Anime Alley, $46 with $3 shipping. Next verified seller is going to be by ReZeros. They have you for they have you for $57. After that, Elite Card Exchange starts to pump it up to $60+ for this cold foil Bell Strange but special. And I really like to see that. Again, cold foil legendaries, especially from the first chapter, love to keep their prices. Another first chapter in Legendary kind of going up in price again because of its meta relevancy. We saw B. DeCandio win the Teo Beastie tournament this weekend playing a version of Lancer Amber Steel song, and he was running 3 copies of the, I think it was 3 copies of Stitch Carefree Surfer. Now going to be lowest verified $15. The Feisty Goblin $13 with that $2.50 shipping. So now a $15 legendary once again, and the cold foil is selling for $45 with that $5 extra shipping. So $50 for the cold foil Stitch Carefree Surfer, which is nice to see. Mickey BLT still around that $70 price range. It's looking like 26 listings. There's a decent amount going around, and $70 is what you're probably gonna have to pay. Wild Thing Games has you right there, $70 with $1.50 shipping, which is cool to see. But after that, we start to see $75 very soon. Mickey BLT, one of the more popular foil legendaries in Lorcana. Wanted to give a quick Lucky Dime update now that the hype has definitely calmed down from the card. This card is settling closer to $10 now. Lowest verified Infinite Cards LLC for $11 right there. And if you want it cold foil, a lot of cold foil listings now. There's 41 listings now compared to those 6 listings that were happening like 2 weeks ago. You know what I mean? So a lot of them now are going to be around $15 for the cold foil. GC is going to be $15 and one with $1.22 shipping. So kind of like a $17 cold foil, which is still nice to see. We also have Perdita, the Devoted Mother, kind of going up in price just a little bit. The cold foil is coming down in price, but the non-foil is just bumping up just a little bit. $6 now with $1 shipping is what you're expected to pay. So it's around a $7 legendary. This card was like selling for closer to $5 a couple weeks ago, and I think that a lot of them started selling, so now they're closer to $7. So it has gone up a little bit. Rizzo Ribs has you for the cold foil for as low as $11 with $1 shipping. I think that's still a good price for some of these cold foil legendaries. Quick update on A Whole New World, another first chapter great card that I think has ban list potential according to a lot of people. My frustrations with this card I know can warrant that feeling, but anyways, $15 lowest verified. Pride Lands Gaming, shout out you guys for having these low prices. $15 for the lowest verified on The Whole New World, and after that Solo Gaming has you for $18. So around $15 to $18 for The Whole New World is what you're expected to pay, and the cold foil still selling for close to $30 right here. As you can see, we have a cold foil sale for $29.94. and the lowest verified listing for the cold foil is going to be $29.99 by the Pokey Effect. And another card that I like to talk about is Ariel Spectacular Singer. We saw this card shoot up in price now that we've seen a Steel Floodborn Ariel confirmed in the next set, which is coming in May. So this card, the cold foil price did shoot up since that announcement to as high as around $11 to $12. Now even the non-foil prices are starting to climb. Lowest verified is going to be Tornado Games for $5 with $1.22 shipping. So it's now about a $6 non-foil card. And for the foil, we have a couple unverified listings for $11, $12, but lowest verified for a near mint is going to be by Marcus's Merch for $12.97, $13 almost if you want this card online from a verified seller. I feel like this card has a lot of potential as well in the future, the same way we've been seeing cards like Whole New World shoot up in price with their value. I feel like Ariel might get there as well. First chapter cards that are just that powerful, you know what I mean? Eventually they're going to become scarce. Personally, I don't have playsets of this card anymore either, and the more I see it kind of trickling up in price, the more I'm kind of asking myself, do I want to get a cold foil playset? If I could find these in person, I would. Getting them online though, don't know how I feel about it yet. Cold foil Be Prepareds are still kind of going up a little bit, getting very close to that $20 range. Cloud Collectibles TX Texas has two of them ready for you for $16.69, and they kind of dwell around that $16 to $17.99 price range right here from the first couple four listings. And the non-foils are still around $11 to $12, but the cold foils, I feel like they're slowly trickling up to that $20 price range, very similar to cards like Fishbone Quill. Lowest verified for the non-foil is going to be $8.37 by Elitism TCG, and people will be paying that price. So it's about a $10 rare now. You know, Fishbone Quill, the same as like Be Prepared, getting close to that $10 rare price range, but the cold foils also very similar. We have Haynes Solo Collects 1622 lowest verified for the near mint with $1.22 shipping, so very close to that $20 price range for both those cards on the cold foil. For a cold foil, basically going up in price. Maleficent Biding Her Time, this is another card we were looking at last time. I actually picked up it's funny because I actually bought these on the Market Watch, and I apparently that bothers some people. I'm sorry for that bothering you. I'm just trying to show you I'm putting my money where my mouth is when I bought some of these cards, you know, and I can't resist. But anyways, so I actually bought like multiple copies of this card even after that Market Watch video, and the next day I woke up to like 2 different refunds you know, because the cold foils were the same price as the non-foils, and some of those sellers just refunded me. So I was like, price go up. But anyways, lowest verified for the near mint non-foil is now going to be $7.29 by Elitism TCG, and people are paying these prices. Look at this, plenty of sales happening for $7 up and down this weekend, and the cold foils for these are now going to be as high as $10.50. Lowest verified by Marcus's Merch. So Maleficent Biding Her Time going up in price. Lilo Making a Wish, a very similar card in the amber color set, is also kind of seeing the similar price treatment. Lowest verified now is Double a Pokey. It's going to be $4.15 with $1.22 shipping, so about a $5 to $6 rare now on the non-foil section. The cold foils still pretty cheap though. Cloud Collectibles TCG, they got 5 of them for you for as low as $6.71. So I think that's kind of cool. As you can see from Maleficent, it's starting to shoot up, especially when those prices are very close together, and these prices are very close together. If Lilo's non-foil are $5 to $6 and you can buy 5 of them for $6.71, why not just get the cold foils? I'm just saying. Another card also going up in price on the rare section is Cursed Merfolk. This card's about $3 to $4 now. It was about as low as $2 when we looked at it, and Inklands has been a very successful set in my opinion because a lot of rares have like this decent price point. Plenty of them listed for as low as $3 right here. TCNX's has you for $2.92, lowest verified with $1.22 shipping. So if you want it online, you're going to be paying about $4 for this card. And we also talked about the promo cards from the D100 gift set from Rise of the Floodborn, how a lot of them have been going up, some of them not as much as others, but the Elsa, this Elsa has been shooting up in price. I wonder if people don't know the difference and they think this is the Enchanted Elsa and they're just buying it on accident or something. Nah, but they've gone up from $9 to as high as $12 in these last couple weeks. Lowest verified today though is now going to be CR Collect for $13.98. So more recent sales are kind of confirming that people are paying $13 for this card now. So if you have some of these cards, they're shooting up in price at least a decent amount. From $9 to $13 I think is a decent, you know, a decent come up, especially if you've been like buying these in or collecting them as a vendor. Like I think that, you know, I think right now I'm going to personally start listing some of mine because I have multiple copies. I have multiple little white packs that I've bought in, so I'm going to start cracking those and getting rid of them soon. And I'll keep some to the side because who knows how high these will go. And last but definitely not least, we looked at the Winnie the Pooh playmat on Friday because these were shooting up in terms of listing prices. But as you can see, multiple sales happening this weekend from the 29th to today, $80 for $80 basically. So these mats are now selling for $80, no longer $50, and they were kind of stuck at 50 to 60 for a cool minute. And now though, that was verified for a near mint of the Winnie the Pooh playmat is going to be by Mufasa Collectibles for $148. They have two of them for you, but we'll see if these sell at $100+, and I feel like it won't take very long for these to start selling for more than $100 because people love the Winnie the Pooh playmat, especially if you're a new Lorcana player. This is probably one of the playmats that stands out to you, and they don't like I said, they don't reprint these. They do not reprint these, so you're gonna have to get these on the secondary market if you weren't playing the first chapters when they came out or you weren't able to find it. So yeah, and we're gonna see what happens with this pricing. I wonder if anyone's gonna buy these for $100+ over this week. But until then, my goons, remember to stay tuned to Lorcana Goons. Come back on Friday. We do these every Monday and Friday. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you goons next time.